Hello, and welcome to episode 3 of It's Always Rainy in Renton. Once again, I'm going to be your content curator, PWOP, and today we're going to step away from the Ballad of Dragon's Dogma 2, and instead we're going to be diving into the lore of Lease on Luxury from the April 23rd stream. Did some journalistic integrity, tracked down Lease on Luxury for some exclusive takes and behind-the-scenes communications with Philip. So sit back, place your DoorDash order, and enjoy some content curated perfectly for a robust, meaningful time. That being said, shout out, of course. I think it would be worth it to play the first clip today, a clip from the Level 1 podcast the morning after, April 24th, where Phil's talking about this so we can get his side of the story here.
We had a late night 2-hour hangout session, and basically it was pretty fun. We talked about so many different topics. You know, we covered games, we covered my history, we covered detractors, we covered everything that everyone wanted to talk about. I like having late night hangout sessions. You know, I don't like having them too often, but it was just a totally impromptu thing. Over 2 hours of just open discussion with the chat, and I think you'll enjoy it if you like that sort of thing. So check it out. It is on demand here on the channel. We even had a live roasting of an idiot who came in and tried to toss like 10 pieces of detractor non-logic at me, and they basically got put over the coals and looked like an idiot. So it was a good time. Honestly, it really was. It was a good night, even though we didn't get to do Fightcade, and it sucks that Fightcade is just not in the cards for me ever. If ever there is some other client that is made that you can play old school fighting games and not have your information at risk, I'll use it.
Okay, so we can look forward to the live roasting of an idiot who brought up 10 detractor points of non-logic and then raking over the coals and being made to look like an idiot. Whoever is the idiot in this is going to be subjective, and it's going to be up to you, the audience, to decide that for yourselves based on the evidence that you're going to be presented with. So let's dive into said evidence and the live roasting of an idiot. I've clipped this so you can see both Phil's chat and Dark Dave's mirror chat. DSP's chat is going to be on the left, the restreamer chat is going to be on the right, just so you can compare the reactions.
Fine, right? It's a style, it's a vibe, it looks fine. So it's all good. So thank you for the anonymous $2.99 tip. I'll be a nice guy and I'll count it as 3. How about that? All right, cool. Alrighty, everyone. So we're starting to wind down. I obviously want to thank you all. Okay. Okay, here we go. The detractors want to continue their narrative. Lease on Luxury says, what would happen if those few people stopped donating? Could the community be viable for the business? Yes. Because this has happened time and time and time and time and time and time again. Whenever one person walks out of that revolving door, someone else walks in. That's how it works. When you're a content creator that makes positive content, that's exactly how it works.
Sounds more like a pyramid scheme than a YouTube channel to me. A YouTube channel seems more like something where you would have a recurring audience and they would want to come back, as opposed to being a revolving door of different people coming in. But please, do continue.
You're going to see people walk in and out of your life constantly, and it's okay. Because as long as you're still there as a staple, continuing to make that style of content that's meaningful to people, some people will come back, and you'll get new people, and it will continue. It might not always be the same faces. It might not always be the same people. Hell, I've had different moderating teams over the years. I've had different people who do work for me behind the scenes and help me out over the years. But it doesn't matter, because as long as I keep up the good fight, keep doing the good stuff, right? People like it and will keep coming in to support it no matter what.
As long as you are fighting the good fight, do you really see life as a crusade against internet trolls? Maybe that wouldn't be the case if you got off the internet and had a job instead of internet panhandling, but what do I know?
All right? It's been 16 years, highs and lows. I've been on where? On YouTube, on various different YouTube channels, on Blip TV, and on Daily Motion. I've been on Twitch.
It's not a flex to suggest that you've had so many platforms that you've broadcasted yourself on and been removed from for violating the terms of service.
I've been on, excuse me, all these other places. And guess what? People still come with me. They're still with me along for this journey, right? Hasn't gone away. You don't know what you're talking about, right? Like, what on earth are you speaking of? And so now, wait a minute. You literally just changed the narrative. Just listen to this. What about the fake narratives? This is fragile. You're 4 years away from your bankruptcy. To save the house fundraiser. Whoa. What is your narrative? You don't have one. You've literally just changed the story 3 times. First, your narrative is, I don't have enough consistent supporters. If a few go away, I fail. That's happened a million times and I'm still here. I just expect, well, what's the next thing? Where's the next goalpost? Okay? You are in a crazy mania. Your mania has taken over your small pea brain, and all you can do is think about the next thing to say negative. They're all false narratives. You are an insignificant human. You don't matter. It doesn't matter what you say in the chat right now or what you do. You're insignificant on this planet. Here's what you need to do. Get away from your device and go do something with your life that will affect someone in a positive way. And what you're going to find is that that is going to be way more meaningful both for you and for everyone else around you than for you sitting in your false narrative land, believing your toxic nonsense and thinking that it has any bearing on me or my life. It doesn't. I will still be here tomorrow and you'll still be miserable humping Hatsune Miku.
So there seems to be one detractor talking point with 2 examples of evidence to support that. And this is consistent with what's being said with Lease on Luxury statement as well. He says, there's no story being changed. His income comes from a small handful of viewers. He didn't overcome this before. He declared bankruptcy and had his debt forgiven. And before that, he failed to account for the amount of income he needed to set aside for taxes and asked his audience to donate more so he could pay his tax bill from the previous year, with no plan to pay his taxes the next year. I don't see an issue with suggesting the business plan is fragile if it's only a few people who donate.
All right? So do yourself a favor, get the fuck off my stream, get a life, and get the fuck into something positive. Because, man, your toxicity is embarrassing to the human race. You are literally an embarrassment to human beings on this fucking planet. Go away.
What do I do?
Yikes. I just got a $6 tip from the Blimp. We love you, man. Screw him. Thank you to the Blimp for another tip, a $6 tip. I appreciate that very much.
Miserable. Just miserable.
I mean, these people can't even maintain a coherent thought for more than 10 seconds. The guy goes from detractor talking point to detractor talking point. He just bounces around parroting the same shit. And every time that something's, countered with a logical thing to disprove it, oh, I gotta get to the next one. I gotta get to the next one. I gotta get to the, wait, no, you already look like an idiot.
But I don't see where you counter the logic, though. You say that you have a revolving door of people, so because there's turnover in the amount of people who are donating money and crowdsourcing the business, it's okay. And the evidence against that is it's not okay. You had a bankruptcy and you don't set enough income to pay your taxes. So that point has still not been responded to. You just ban Lease on Luxury instead.
You don't get to now say 10 more things. You're already a moron. These people are just so dumb. They really don't understand it. There's no reasoning with someone who's so far gone. You just have to have them have a moment of realization at some point in their life that they're going to try to be better people, But sadly, I don't know if these people ever will. It seems like what's happened is there's this community of people who have this mania in their head, and they actually, no exaggeration, have formed communities of relationships, online relationships, of course, but relationships nonetheless based on toxic behavior. The only way they even get human interaction or any kind of attention is toxic behavior.
Yeah, let's talk about toxic behaviors in online communities. I'm going to put up some messages that came up from DSP's chat from his side that I screen grabbed while I was watching this and preparing the clip and curating it for you. So just, keep in mind that these are the ones that are not the toxic community. They do not have to spread out for toxic action to get interaction, and he does not fit that mold either. All those things he just said do not apply to him.
So they have to keep that up, or else now they have to realize that their lives are miserable, trite, meaningless. So they keep that toxic community going no matter what. Even if the narrative's completely false and fabricated, that's the only way that they feel like they have a meaning in their life. That is ridiculously pathetic, sad, and dangerous. We can't have a society within a whole undergroup of people who literally just sit on their devices crapping on things all day. This is not productive. This is awful. This is going to be the ruining of human society if we allow it to continue. If you know someone like that, you have to go call them out and be like, get the fuck out of your room. Get the fuck off your phone. Stop being a toxic douchebag to everything around you and get a light.
Phil, that is exactly what the detractors have been trying to tell you. Get off your phone, get out of your room, stop being a toxic person, spend 5 minutes outside your home attempting to make friends, spend 5 minutes doing anything positive that isn't an attempt to make yourself money. That is exactly what this is. You said these people need someone like that in your life. You need someone like that in your life because there's thousands of people out there that tell you this every day, and you tell them that they're wrong for several minutes, and you ban them when they try to tell you that they're wrong.
Spend 5 minutes getting real life friends. Spend 5 minutes doing something positive with your life that is meaningful to other people around you. Stop being toxic. You're not going to help anything on earth. You're just going to burn this fucking planet down if you keep acting that way. It's insane. That guy, can you believe what the guy was saying in the chat? It literally, he was one detractor narrative. Okay, well, here's why that's wrong. Next one, next one, next one, next one. Rapid fire. Like he has his list, his checklist of shit, so he can copy paste them all in the chat. Dude, what the fuck is your problem? Like, wow, you need help. How do you not understand? And again, why don't they get it? They literally have a community of thousands of people who act like that around each other, right? It's insanity. If you contribute absolutely nothing positive to anyone on this planet, right? Why do you exist?
Wow, we are dangerously close to suggesting that Lease on Luxury should be playing in traffic. We should be very careful here, Phil. Lease on Luxury did want to make a note here. They do lots of positive things in the community, but they're not allowed to talk about it because Roman Catholics don't use their charity as a virtue signal. So just going to have to take them at their word for it.
Is that not, that should be the ultimate goal of every person, to at least put something out in their life that brightens the day of someone else, that makes someone else have a smile or feel good, right? Do something nice, and then we can all get along and we can all have a nice life together. Live and let live. Instead, everyone's got to burn down, attack, destroy, deride, be just gross to each other. How the hell can you go through life like that?
It should probably be noticed that Lease on Luxury's commentary was trying to be helpful in pointing out that it's a bad idea to have income reliant on the generosity of the donation of a few individuals, and that that's not stable for a business, and citing examples of Phil's financial past that support that. The person being destructive and bringing others down here is Phil.
I just don't get it. I would love for one of them to come up with a new narrative that hasn't been regurgitated for the last 5 to 10 years, because they don't have one.
Okay, I'll bite. New narratives from this year is the Mike Klum stuff, the way you treat Cat on stream, the way you talk to King Be Cruel, and all that spoon thing. Those are all things that happened this year, and those are all pretty new narratives. The writers have been on fire season 16.
The same shit now in a loop. Because in truth, at one point in the past, I used to care so much that people would say this shit about me that I would go out of my way to try to defend myself or actually counter the narrative. But after a while, I'd say it was about 5 years ago, I realized no matter what I said, they would just come up with another one. So I just stopped. I realized at some point, it's becoming more harmful for me to waste time trying to defend myself than to actually just say fuck it and ignore it.
Right. Talking about detractor stuff is bannable offense in DSP's chat. It's one of the 3 rules. That's why he doesn't engage in any of that kind of stuff. He doesn't do drama content. He doesn't talk about detractors. He doesn't give it any time. He doesn't give it any attention. He does not talk about it on the stream. That's why that didn't happen tonight. We didn't talk about the trolls or the detractors or any of that tonight. That's why on Level 1 Podcast tomorrow, we're going to say that we didn't talk about the detractors. And that's why when OP Boone makes the timestamps from the AI generated, it's not going to use the word detractor 12 times. Sound good? Sounds good to me.
And that's what I just started doing. So fuck this and ignore it, right? All these morons out there make documentaries and shit about me, fucking interviews. What has it done? Nothing. I'm still here. I still make the same content. I still have a great life. They've done nothing. They personally benefited because, trust me, they wouldn't have made the content if they wouldn't personally benefit from it. They're doing it for themselves. That's it. It's the only reason. No one else needed to be interviewed on Side Scrollers. I had to be. Why? Because they're going to get a benefit out of that. That's why.
This is just kind of paranoid rambling at this point, but we'll bite on the Side Scroller stuff. He was asking for that interview. He asked them specifically, the Side Scrollers, and before he asked them specifically, he was just asking generally on stream for anybody to give him a fair interview, as he was calling it, and wanting to tell his story. And he wanted to address all controversies and things like that, and he said multiple times in Side Scrollers he wanted that to be the place to go for all the information. And quite frankly, for me, it left me with more questions than answers. I don't think it resolved everything, and I don't think we can just look at it.
So there you go. So, these fucking nut jobs, man. I don't know how you can go through life like that. But that's the thing. Like, I just stopped 5 years ago or whatever. I was like, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to entertain the nonsense, because all that does is lets them get more content and waste my audience's time. You guys don't want to sit here listening to me talk about every fucking conspiracy theory that comes out of their mouth. I've already talked about most of them, and they don't care. They continue anyway. So what's the point, right? What's the narrative? The narrative is they jerk off to each other all day, every day, and I ignore them, and I continue on happy, and they're sitting there miserable every day. Well, who's the winner?
I don't think there are winners and losers in this. It's literally just YouTube, but whatever. You base your whole life and your whole ego around this, so I get it. You think it's over. It sounds like the topic is exhausted, but no, he doesn't let it go.
But Wex, I'm not going to try a VPN because, number one, it costs money. Number two, it's too much of a risk. What if the VPN doesn't work and my IP still leaks? So I'm not wasting it. Just the risk of my IP getting out there is too much. It's a waste of everyone's time, so I'm not using Fightcade, period. The Blimp says, it's literal projection. These people lack something in their lives. Then they rationalize bad behavior towards someone that's targeted as a means to not address their own shortcomings. Exactly. I've always said this too. Even if everything they've ever said about me was true, which 99% of it isn't. Some of it is because I am a flawed human. I've made mistakes over the years.
He's tried this before, and this is already going on way too long, so I'm not going to splice in clips from another one, but April 12th, 2024 is where he started doing this. You can look this up with Pigpigo if you look to really care about this. He started using this sort of talking point where even if everything that they say about me is true, which it's not, but hypothetically, let's say it is, when he says that, he's like, it's not even that bad. It's not things like, it's just little things. It's not things like murder or grooming or sexual abuse. And he just sticks that one in the middle there, which grooming is actually one of the biggest things he's being accused of. Financial sort of things are an issue as well, and that's a lot of the controversy here as well. But Leanna being a teenager with him when he was in his late 20s was something a lot of people took issue with, continue to take issue with, and it's an unresolved problem.
And I've changed for the better. I feel like the last 7 years of my life have been an epiphany where I've turned everything around and I'm a much better person now, correct? But even if everything they've said is true about me, am I still the devil? None of the things that I've done that they're claiming are real crimes or anything like that. It's just, some bad behaviors that we don't like, right?
This isn't just about disagreeing with lifestyle choices. This is about you taking advantage of a girl when she was a teenager, taking advantage of the bankruptcy and absolving debt that You literally said microtransactions were part of that. $5,000 in business expenses, nobody knows what that is still. You went on side scrollers, you said you were going to address that, and then you said your health insurance is one of your business expenses, and your Hulu, and your mortgage, and your internet, and you just started conflating things that are personal and business and said, well, some of it can kind of be both. This is nonsense, and this is why people had issue with you getting $200,000 of debt absolved, because taxpayers are the ones that help with that. It's not just poof, your debt disappears.
And so if you don't like the bad behaviors you accuse me of, well, wait. Why do you still stalk me every day? Why are you still watching? Right? Because you benefit from it, because you make money on it. That's why. If there was no money, there'd be no detractor community.
Wrong. At least I can speak for myself on this, because this channel is not monetized, is not eligible to be monetized, and right now doesn't have any plans to be monetized. So, no, there's no money in it, and I'm still here.
I stand by that. Right now, I'll prove the point. You ready? Right now, to prove the point, I dare every one of these idiots, the memologies, the duty streams, the restreamers, all of them, demonetize your content for a whole month. Right now. Do it. Be men. Be real men. And demonetize your content for a month and prove that you actually do it because you have a reason to do it. Because you feel like you're doing something good, a service, instead of we're just doing it to make money. I fucking dare you.
Okay, you just dared me to do something that I was already doing. So I guess I'll accept your offer. 1 month of not making money on this channel starting now, okay? Check back at the end of May 2024. Let's see how much money I haven't made in that time. But other people have responded to this as well. Duty, TJ Gamebox. Duty said he would, demonetize if you showed your WWE champions? TJ Gamebox said he would shut down his whole Twitter. He said he'd deactivate if you show your WWE champions, because there'd be no point to his Twitter. It's just to track spending on WWE champions from down from the rafters. So if you want people to stop collecting money on it, show your account and show that it's not down from the rafters. And they'll have no purpose for even having a channel anymore. Sounds good? Sounds good to me. Just prove all of it's true and everything that you said about the WWE Champions account is true. Just find an account from the day that the game came out that's only spent lifetime under $1,000 and still plays as of March 2023. Just prove that you have an account that does all that stuff and we'll be good to go.
To demonetize your content for a month. Won't do it. Because you do it for money. That's why you make up the stuff to begin with. You're fucking full of shit. You have no actual morality. You have no leg to stand on. Nothing. You're wastes of life. Not a single one. I already did this before. I did this a couple years ago too. I said the same thing. Never worked. They will never do it. Because the only reason that they do it was for the dollars to begin with. Right? So, enough of that. Anyway, thank you everyone. I think I'm ready to adjourn. What a night. 2 hours of just chilling and having fun and various honest topics and good times. And thank you so much for the overwhelming support. It is greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated. And one final thing, I will say this. I started off doing this. I'll say this again. FYI, I'm one man and you are many. Undoubtedly, tons of people will watch this tonight, right? People who are here, a good amount of people live, but there was also probably be a good amount of people watching on demand. Please understand, like I said, there was a misunderstanding earlier today. Someone who I know thought that I was literally directly like attacking and insulting them on my stream earlier today. I literally wasn't. I don't even know what they're referencing or what they said, but they actually sent me a message after the fact saying, I'm really hurt at what you said to me. And I was like, I didn't say that to you. I didn't say your name. I certainly didn't time you out or anything. Like, if I was angry with someone in chat, I would address you directly and I would time you out for it.
And yeah, I have an email from Lease on Luxury that says this kind of stuff, but I can't understand how Phil would have done that whole rant, read the email and everything, and the times for it just don't add up either. The times on the email are from earlier in the evening. Well, I guess that does line up with what he's saying, but it doesn't line up with the lease on luxury land. So I'm not sure what this is about, but it's kind of funny to imagine this is just about lease on luxury and immediately apologizing, even though it's not. If you know Phil, it's not his style at all, because tomorrow he's going to get on and he's going to say he roasted him, he owned him, he owned the trolls, dude.
Right? Like, for example, that idiot detractor who kept derailing and moving the goalpost, he's gone. So he knows who he is. But, like, I think some people, sadly, they listen to my content and they misconstrue what I'm saying as something like, oh my God, Phil attacked. I don't generalize thing. If I am talking directly to someone, I'll do my best to call you out, say your name. And if you get timed out or whatever, you know, you messed up. Not, you know, I'm not always just attacking someone. And this, I feel bad because this is a person who's a nice person. And I think that they had a bad day or something and they thought that I was attacking them. I totally didn't even say a word to them. I don't even know what they said in chat that they think I attacked them for. I have no clue.
So what makes this person different, and what makes Lease on Luxury not just somebody having a bad day, and or what makes Lease on Luxury even being critical at all? Because they know things that happened to you several years ago, and that's a problem? But, oh, I'm sure that this is probably somebody who gives you money, so you're trying to apologize to somebody who gives you money. The theory here is that people believe that this is 1 Minute Man, since 1 Minute Man stopped donating, but we can't really say for sure since this is so strange and vague. Again,
I apologize to anyone out there who ever thinks that, like, I'm accidentally attacked or I'm attacking you directly or whatever. I guess sometimes it just happens again when I'm talking in generalities or whatever. That some people would misconstrue something, but you know, I apologize for that. I'm a flawed guy. I'm a one human. I'm trying to do a stream that talks to and entertains hundreds at a time. It could be a daunting task. Sorry if anyone ever gets the wrong idea. Okay. All right. I think that's it. Let's adjourn. Thank you all. A great night tonight. I had a good time with all of you, and I hope to see you all tomorrow. Excellent.
yeah, sorry, he's talking to and entertaining hundreds of individuals at once, so if you feel like something he's speaking about in generalities, or you feel like something he's targeting at you specifically, you're wrong. It's your fault. You're wrong. Stop perceiving it that way. At least on luxury, you were wrong. He was not trying to target you specifically, even though he literally brought you up like 4 times, and he brought you up and singled you out like 45 seconds before he said that. And that's it. That's the end of the clip. He ended the stream after that. He just stayed on it the whole way through until he ended the stream. So that's all I really got here. I appreciate anybody who actually listened to this all the way through. I put in some work on this. I stayed up late working on this one. So again, I appreciate it so much if you listened all the way through. I'm all about conversating. I'm all about chill, robust, positive, meaningful, fun times. So if you got to this point, interact with me, conversate with me on Twitter, or comment, please. Again, as we reiterated, I'm not doing this for the money, but doing it for the conversation, doing it for the interaction. Please, I appreciate it. All right, well, that's all. Have a good night, everyone.